what's up, everybody? It's me, your big homie Shawn from SJS Exotics. I got my co-host, the man, the myth, the legend, Mike Duvall from Morph Ave with me tonight. I hope you all give him a nice little welcome back in the chat there. Tonight, we're diving into one of the most underrated but absolutely vital parts of this industry and in this game. It's networking and communication in the reptile industry. It's more than just breeding snakes. It's about building bridges, who you talk to, how you carry yourself, and how you connect with others can make or break your growth. And tonight, we're joined by two amazing guests who have not only built killer animals, they've built connections that elevate this whole community. Will and Audra from Flawless Creations. Let's break it down, what it really means to stay plugged in, stay professional, and stay respected. Hey, Will. Hey, Audra. How y'all doing? Welcome to the show.
Doing good.
Thank you.
Great. Hey, before we get started, just like to throw this up here. We are officially sponsored by Chris Eaton of the Fat Man Nation. So if you're not following him, you probably should go give him a follow. Definitely. And then go get you one of them Deeds Not Word shirts. You got till July. So hurry up and get them in so these vets can have all 100% of the proceeds are going to that Camp Victory, correct, Mike?
Camp Freedom there in Pennsylvania.
Camp Freedom, yeah, that's right.
You get till July 4th to pick up your shirts at the fatmannation.com.
Yep. Exactly. So welcome. You guys been doing all right?
Yeah.
Kicking some butt.
Right on, man. Love it. You guys having a busy season right now?
Yes, actually.
Very busy.
Yes.
It's a very busy.
Clutch 22 into the incubator.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's a good feeling right there.
Yep. That's awesome.
So you have to feed all them babies, right?
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So tonight we're talking about networking and communication in the ball python / reptile industry and the importance of it. Now, you kind of know already, Will, how this got started because you and I were just having a conversation and you were just dropping dimes. And I'm like, man, everybody got to hear this, man. So
right.
Mike and I got some questions for you. I'm going to let Mike go ahead and ask his questions, and then I'll ask mine, and we'll see if we got time for some of the guests to drop some comments and questions down there for us.
Nice.
Okay.
I appreciate meeting you two again and having you on the channel here at the Big Homies Breakdown. What challenges did you face on building your brand, and how did communications help you overcome them?
Some of the challenges for building a brand was finding enough successful models in the niche, in this actual lane, in the reptile industry, to try to not necessarily mirror, but take notes from and kind of make things our own.
Mm-hmm.
It's very few and far between that you have successful business plans executed in this lane.
I mean, that's in the industry as well.
Right, but especially in niche,
niche
very small niche fields.
Mm-hmm.
That was a huge obstacle. And what was the last part of the question?
How did network? How did communication help you overcome the challenges?
So, that's an easy one. So we built Flawless Crested Geckos online for almost 3 years before actually vending a show. And our first show that we vended right next to Bob Vu. And while being one little table next to Bob Vu, I was literally just picking his brain. And we weren't even into the ball pythons at that particular moment. And
that's the experience right there.
Oh yeah, asking him question after question, and he was just so open with his delivery. Gave me his phone number, everything. And found out he was in Georgia because he was vending the show here in South Carolina because it was a Fort Mill show, and stayed in contact. Shot him a message here or there, asking him particular questions about genes. My daughter, bought her first snake, which we still have, and she
Oh, that's awesome.
Yes, we do.
from him, and we were able to keep that communication line open. And come to find out, he was one of the more definitely one of the most popular breeders, but he's also one of the bigger breeders out there. So to be able to kind of network with someone like him and touch bases with him in a field that we're not in, I mean, it was game changing for us.
Yes.
Yeah, and it's pretty. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, and just like communication with those people who have figured out branding
Yes.
of their own flavor. And then being able to kind of have a meeting of the minds and see what could work for you in your business plan going forward.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Babu, he's a really nice guy, real laid back and relaxed. And I asked him a couple questions and stuff like that too. That kind of answered my next question. Give me just a second here.
No problem.
My next question was, can you share a moment where networking, where it changed everything for you with the connection with that? So that kind of got that one.
I think too. So when we vended one of our first shows, which the Fort Mill show was the very first one, and I didn't get to go that particular weekend because at the time I was still working as a sheriff's deputy in our county. And but I did get to go to the next ones, and I believe it may have been the second, third, maybe third show that we went to in Grovetown, Georgia. And I remember we set up, we were all the way at the back wall, and people just kept coming by. You know, he had already been talking to Bob. We already kind of had a following online with our Crested Gecko people. And so people were consistently coming to the table to talk to us, and it got the attention of not just, crested people, but also some of the snake people there, like Black Diamond, Hertz, and then Da Vinci Boa, who obviously, Da Vinci doesn't do ball pythons, but the whole community as a whole noticed us because of our presentation, because of the way we communicated with people, because of the way we engaged with different people who already kind of knew who we were.
Absolutely.
For sure. Yep. What are 3 actionable tips for someone trying to build their network today?
Don't be afraid to reach out to the personalities that you see online, the content creators, because I mean, at the end of the day, that's what we are. We're content creators. And it may seem like it comes easy to us at this moment, but we had to build to this level.
Oh, yeah.
I've kind of always just like, it is what it is, but when you see me, it's, I'm speaking for both of us. When you see Audra, she's speaking for both of us. We're a brand. Flawless. That's just how we roll, and that's just what it is. But we had to build to that level, that comfort level. So where I may lack, Audra's going to pick up, and where Audra may lack, I'm going to pick up, but it's still going to be flawless. So one of the big things is reach out to those big brands, those big names. We've had several people who follow us, who like us. I hate saying who are fans, because that's not really our thing, but have been hesitant to come up and meet us. And we consistently put out content out there, like on our YouTube videos. And anytime we're going to do a show or be in a location, and we tell everyone, hey, you see us, tap us on the shoulder, say what's up, drop off a business card, come talk us up. We really mean that. And that's the part of the networking, kind of us opening the door. If you feel intimidated, by the brand or other bigger brands, because there's a lot of bigger brands than us, just, hey, you're bringing them business, you're bringing them conversation. That's the networking aspect of it that you need.
Be authentically you.
Yes.
And that's the thing, like when you approach someone that you admire for whatever it is that they're doing, whether it's their success or maybe it's their animals, or maybe it's just the people that they are, you admire them, just approach and be authentically you.
Right.
Come with your personality.
Yeah, for sure.
That's number one actionable, step to take. Number 2 is probably make sure you have a system in place that works for you. We have our system.
Mm-hmm.
You guys have your separate systems, and if they work for you, that's great. If you're interested in wanting to pursue like people who you do find that they're at that level of success,
Right.
ask them what their system is. There's plenty of people out there that are absolutely game to help you create a system.
Absolutely.
And then third, I would say, find out what your why is, and do everything that you do to help others.
Very
and
important.
I promise it helps yourself when you help
Yes,
others.
ma'am, for sure, 100%.
And
That's-
piggyback on Audra, your why is so important because guess what? We're all different. We have all different reasons for enjoying the same animals that we all enjoy, but there's going to be different motivations behind it. Some people are going to want to have, a $50 snake. Some people are going to want to have a $10,000 snake. But guess what? That same person either way may not want to necessarily breed. They just maybe have the resources to facilitate their hobby in the manner in which they want to do so.
Mm-hmm.
So again, everything, you can't really relate apples to apples or oranges to oranges. Everyone are individuals. So you never really know the full potential of what a customer or a friend or a fellow breeder may bring to the table.
We said how many times, it's one of my favorite quotes, and it's a vision without action is merely a dream. And so you just got to show up consistently and continue to take those actionable steps over and over and over again, and eventually it will catch on. Definitely. You will catch fire.
Wow, that is awesome. That's really touching with that quote.
Yeah, that was a good quote. Man, I just love listening to you guys talk, man. I really do, man. It's always, you always learn a little something different every time I talk to you guys. I've met you several times at Tinley. You even came over to the Airbnb where I was at and hung out, and Audra was dropping knowledge bomb after knowledge bomb. By the way, this shirt right here that I got when you guys were Flawless Crested Geckos, I got that boy, man. He's been putting off some beautiful babies.
Yeah.
That mystery box. Yeah, dude, that Christmas mystery box, man.
Congrats. Happy for you,
man.
Yeah, she's had me lost there for a minute because I had a couple other questions, but since she was talking about all that stuff, I got to take a break, so I got to let you go ahead, Shawn, with the next.
No problem.
So, Mike kind of asked some of these questions. I got some other ones though. What do you think right now is the biggest communication mistake you see new breeders making right now?
Oh, that's easy.
Being too casual, overselling, etc.
No, I think the biggest mistake, and it's so simple, and people are gonna have a light bulb moment. But speaking in absolutes, when you say something about, oh yeah, don't do this, or you shouldn't do this, you may feel so strongly about something, but at the nuts and bolts of whatever the topic may be, it needs to be uniform 100% across the board on the do's or don'ts. Is this going to hurt our species, our reptile, our pet, whatever it may be, then that's an absolute. But everything in there is going to be your personal experience, with that species, with that animal, that knowledge that you've built over the years. But I can guarantee you that if you've been doing it 10 years, 15 years, there's someone else that's been doing it 20, 25 years a completely different way, and both of you are successful. So you can't necessarily speak in absolutes. And that causes a lot of problems, because if it's us or if it's another brand or another breeder, anyone that you're following, if you become a fan of their content and what they put out and how they may, keep, maybe in tubs, maybe in enclosures, and you kind of run with that toward the masses, and then you start speaking in absolutes and you start turning other people's ears off. Now you have conflict.
Mm-hmm.
So it's be receptive of all the knowledge, but you don't want to speak in absolutes.
That's that goes as far. I remember, I believe it was KG. I believe KG said this when we were talking about, different snakes that get into you might ship one somewhere, and then that snake gets there, and for some reason it just doesn't want to do anything that you wanted that it was doing when it was living with whoever. And to take into account like where you are in the country, because altitude levels matter, humidity levels matter, parameters, all these parameters. And so when you speak in absolutes, just outside of like that specific example, but to kind of parallel it to communication, when you speak in absolutes, you may not communicate the same way that I communicate. So you have to take into account people's perspectives. You can talk at them all day long, but if they cannot pick up what you're putting down, you're never going to get anywhere with them. So that is very important, just to understand that everybody has a different perspective. They've walked a different path than you have, and some things work for them, some things work for us, but we can all add to each other if you keep an open mind about it.
And they communicate and receive the communication differently, which is the point of this. Someone, you can come in and say, man, that was stupid. I'm like, oh man, well, what can I do to fix that? Like, how can I fix this problem? But other people, you say, hey man, that was stupid. They're off. They don't want to hear nothing else you got to say, because you don't call them stupid, you hurt their feelings, and they're not even listening to whatever the point may be.
This is something we deal with all the time between us. I mean, I'm from the South, he's from the North. We're clearly a little different.
We'll make a better iced tea.
So it's you just have to understand, like, our communication is terrible, but we work on it on a regular basis. You have to. That's with any relationship, whether it be buyer, seller, or husband and wife, or friends, you know?
Yeah. That actually brought me right into my next question I had for y'all. How do you handle difficult or unprofessional interactions, especially online? Like, you're going to run into the customers that they're always going to be right, no matter what you tell them, you know, and it's just like, you're going to run into those types of folks.
And you're going to have to let them be right.
You have to be able to communicate with them. So
but you let them be right in a manner where we give them the information. Was that, well, for us, in our experience, this is what's worked for us. So you have now this information to do what you want with it. And if you still want to kind of do your way, you can't control other people. We get that from law enforcement.
Yes.
But bottom line is, you cannot control other people. You can give the information, but you can't force them to kind of receive it.
Exactly.
You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink.
You read my mind. That's exactly what I was saying.
So we don't get into it. We don't go back and forth.
No.
You know, we just, if you're asking us our opinion or need some help or some assistance, we'll offer it. But outside of that, we're willing to put out the content. If you have someone wants to comment or have questions there, we'll definitely engage there. But we don't go back and forth or have issues.
We've said it a million times. We'll say it a million times over. We do not do drama. If you have beef with us, you actually have beef with just yourself, because we're not going back and forth
at all.
That wastes all kinds of time.
Yes, it does. It
because we could be doing something completely constructive, and yet we're wasting our time doing stuff like that. Yeah, 100%. So, do you have any advice that you would give to a new breeder trying to network at their first big show? What would you tell them? You know, hey, this is our advice. You should try it. You know, and maybe it'll help you get out there a little bit. Like, for me, I go out and talk to the vendors, right? And then, you know, that's how I kind of do it. Drop a business card and move on.
One thing is, don't be afraid to be you. Everyone, I don't care who it is. It could be, you know, somebody who's made millions of dollars in this industry. It could be somebody that's made 1,000 or 100 or made nothing. We all put our pants on the same way. One leg at a time. And you've got to understand that, and you've got to know that whatever you've got, somebody in this world is going to want and is going to need. And so if you can find your people and you just talk and you be you, those types of people will come in and interact with you, and you will attract the people that are your people.
So, and then finding your why on why you're doing whatever step that you're doing, while you're networking, while you're at maybe the show, or what are you doing and why are you doing that? That's very important for us. Like I said, year 3 on the Crested Gecko side, we hit the ground running vending. I want to say we probably vended maybe 15 shows that first year. For the last 5 years or so, we haven't vended over 7 shows for the entire
7
year.
is busy.
That's
for
a
us.
workout in its own
7
right there.
is a lot.
Yeah, 7's a lot for us.
And to put the method to our madness, what's the point of why that happened? Well, when we started vending, number one, we were already pushing the brand and everything online and making sales and closing deals online. And what ended up happening was we say, you know what, we want to build a network in person and now get out there to the different networks and see our customers. So that's what we did the first year. But what we saw was, unfortunately, all the shows are not going to be successful as far as the attendance. So we're not focused on making sales and closing deals at the shows. That's irrelevant. It really is. You need to worry about, we would rather, instead of having a huge, it's cool to have a nice financial show, but instead of having a cool financial show, we would love to get 10,000 people coming through the door. So if a promoter, any promoter, can let us know about an event that, hey, they're bringing 10,000 people through the door, so we can get those customer contacts for future purchase, for social media,
for building those relationships.
Exactly. That's more valuable in the long game for us. So
that is what gives you retention.
Absolutely. So we were vending those shows and there was no foot traffic. But what we found, and it gets to be toxic in our community, because what we found, we'll use ourselves as an example. If you go out and vend a show and it's like, man, 500 people showed up across the entire weekend. I mean, okay, maybe it wasn't promoted well. Who knows? Maybe it was a bad venue. Maybe it's new. Maybe it needs time to get traction. But at the end of the day, as a vendor, man, I'm sitting here, I'm pissed off. But sign me up.
I've been to plenty of shows where,
that's
I
not
bought
it.
4 or 5 tables and there's like 300 people the whole weekend. And you're like,
but you can't be that way.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, you know what happens? Sign me up for the next one. And then I do that one. And it's like, man, it's still bad. Sign me up for the next one. So it's the cycle where it's not the venue. It may not be maybe it just needs some growth. But at that moment, that's not answering our why. You see what I'm saying? So it's not worth the time at that point, because we need the foot traffic, not necessarily the sales. We need that foot traffic to further our goals.
A lot of times I get people after the show that are
that's
the show and they're like, hey, do you still have that animal available? Can you ship? Oh yeah, absolutely. I got a box ready for you right now.
Yeah. That's why we just
I need to send it to
every show. We closing several deals after the show, heading home. That's why we had to create our inventory system. When people come to our tables, we tell them open to pictures, take pictures as many as you want. The picture you take has an inventory number. Hey, you even hit us up. You say, hey, I got this boy. I say, hey, what's the inventory number on it? And we could send you the information, the parents' lineage. We can do all of that stuff from the numbers on the lid. So when they get home or they on the road and they want to close that deal, they hit us up with that and we ship them right on out. Close the deal.
There you go. Hey, just want to say this real quick. Kristen and from Dark Desire Pythons. Hey, Mike. I think she meant glad. Glad to see you and Shawn on a podcast together.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you. Yeah, just like the branding, get your name, like when you're at the show and you have your business cards and all your information, that's how people are going to recognize who you are and stuff like that. And communications, talking to the people, whether or not they purchase something, you just never know. So we always treat them as a potential. I treat everybody equal. Yeah, I treat everybody equal.
Absolutely.
Not, just because you're looking, I'm not going to leave you, just for this person that wants $1,000 snake. You're just as valuable as the next person to me.
You never know who you're getting the opportunity to grow.
Yes, ma'am. That is correct.
Yeah, people are coming into your lives for reasons. It could be to teach you a lesson, or you could be set up to teach them and to help them grow and succeed in things.
Right. Yeah, for sure.
Hey, if any of y'all in the comments have any questions for Will and Audra or me and Mike, go ahead and put them in there now, and we'll try to get your question up there. Because these guys are gold. They're worth their weight in gold, man.
Thank you.
Yeah, for
They're
sure.
here, they're dropping knowledge, and people are learning things, man. And I think that's what we got to do as a community. We're a bunch of ignorant people. We are.
Yeah, I had a brain
And
fart.
ignorance can be squared away pretty easily just by communication.
Right.
Yes, it can.
Yeah. Well,
And
since you're from up north,
networking
go ahead, Shawn.
follows right behind the communicating, right? So,
Yeah.
Absolutely.
yep. Yep.
Shauna.
What
That's my girl.
you were gonna say, Mike?
Sorry, my phone, my computer was lagging. Since you're from up north and Audra from down south, do y'all drink sweet tea or unsweet tea, or is there like a
Actually,
rivalry with that, or not? No tea.
No
No.
rivalry. Actually, don't
Okay.
really like tea like that
We-
unless it's just like
If it's
Milo's.
Milo's,
I'll do Milo's
but it's
unsweet.
Oh, that's good tea.
It's the unsweet
Yeah.
sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the sugar-free sweet that
Yeah.
we
Oh
drink,
no.
the yellow
Yeah.
label.
Hey, I
but
was
she
stationed in
might.
Savannah, Georgia. How do you not drink sweet
I was just about to say,
tea?
she's from down here.
Well,
No sweet
it's
tea.
honestly, it's because my mom was from California, so
My
Okay.
mama's from California too.
she drank what we called it my nanny, actually my nanny who was from here, my mom would call her tea diabetes in a cup, and then my nanny would call her tea just colored water.
Colored
Oh,
water,
no.
yeah.
Well,
Yeah, I know.
it just tastes
No,
like
I
water.
remember when I was out driving trucks and stuff. I stopped in a little hole in the wall restaurant, a truck stop restaurant, and I was like, "Hey, can I get some sweet tea?" They're like, "Yeah, sure." They bring me tea. I'm like, "It's colored water, man. The ice has no flavor."
That's what she gets. Unsweet tea,
Ugh.
Splenda.
I was
Yeah.
like, "Look, give me the bottle of sugar, man, and I'll do it myself."
Well,
Oh,
I figured out. So I have been extremely heavy before. Like I've been 300 pounds almost, and I literally could go through a sweet tea, like a gallon of sweet tea in a day. And whenever I started losing a whole bunch of weight and really getting a handle on that had to go. And so I got used to drinking the unsweet tea that my mom I grew up on with her. Instead of going that route. So that's why I just drink sugar-free stuff at this point.
What part of California your mom from?
She was from she was an Air Force brat. So she was born in North Dakota, but they moved really quickly to Sacramento, California. So she lived
Travis?
in Sacramento.
Nice. I
Yeah.
guess they were over there at Travis Air Force Base. That's pretty cool. I lived maybe 45 minutes from there.
Oh wow.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, my
That is
grandfather
kinda
was
cool.
all over the place. He was
Yeah.
everywhere.
Yeah, we appreciate everybody's services.
So when you're thinking about working with somebody, how are you thinking about how do you vet them? What's red light or like a red flag or a green light for you to go ahead and just work with this person?
Now it depends on what do you mean by work with them on content,
Well, I mean,
project, or
content, any type of work, man. I mean, you're doing a breeding a breeding plan together or
we don't.
whatever you're doing.
And that's why I wanted to ask. So,
Yep.
With
Okay.
content, we'll work with them on it. And it's a very controversial topic. We put out videos on it. So when it comes to the ball python breeding side of it, since it is a business and we've owned businesses before, it's extremely difficult for your business to be successful in a partnership. You're going to have ups and downs, both of the partners. If the money at the end of the day and the expenses don't come from the same household and go home to the same household, you're going to end up running into issues. Therefore, moving forward, when we got into this, we spent a ton of money, put out videos on it. But if we wanted to work with a project, we just kind of got our eggs in line and went out and bought the project or bought the snakes that we wanted to work with and went about it that way. So we really don't have any partnerships. If someone wanted to work something, we will hopefully maybe try to produce something that we're not necessarily holding back to be able to hopefully help them out and, sell that to them. Or for us, we did it with the crested geckos as well. We would actually just buy what we're looking to work with and work it ourselves. That way, if it's a complete failure, if an animal dies on you, at the end of the day, we only got to look in the mirror and deal with ourselves. You don't have to lose friendships. You don't have to bump heads. You don't have to fight online about this person did this or that. We don't have to.
It just takes all those variables that could go really south out of the equation. We don't have to worry about it.
But content is easier.
Content
is easier. We collab. We do collabs on videos, on geckos, on the ball python side. We do a bi-weekly live with Darren from Sloan Morphs. We collab all the time.
You guys are doing a lot on the like on YouTube and everything else, man. I can't even keep up liking the videos as quickly as they're coming out, man.
Consistency.
I have to give it up to Will. He's been really going at it on these videos himself here the last little bit.
It just is what it is. It's what we gotta do.
Yeah.
You know, my thing is with us, we put out 2 videos a week on both brands, Flawless Crested Geckos as well as Flawless Exotic Creations. We do this full time, therefore it cannot be a week where this doesn't get done. It's the same as you didn't show up.
So I think a lot of people, because we don't really put them out there like that on our YouTube channels, but we have 3, like we have our daughter, but she's out of the house, but we have 3 kids that are still very much in the home and active in so many different things. So where he might be videotaping a YouTube video, I'm running a kid to football practice, or we have 2 now that have their permits. So that was an all-day event. And,
13,
15, and 16. So we have life outside of that. It has to still get done. So we just kind of split it and keep rolling, you know?
Yeah, we have a question from
go
ahead, Shawn.
Oh, you got it, Mike? Yeah.
No, I was going to pull up Kristen's. Go ahead and get Mark's, and I'll get her.
Do you guys have a list of must-bring items to vend a show?
On the Crested Gecko channel, yes, we did a whole "What do you need" to vend. Craziest thing about it, we sold out pretty much the last 2 years, which were our first 2 years breeding. We had 43 clutches and then 33 clutches last year, and we didn't have anything left. We literally have 2 snakes from last season that's still available. So we've literally hatched out over 500 snakes, and we moved all. And we've never vended with the Flawless Exotic Creations as of yet. We're following the same blueprint we did with Flawless Crested Geckos.
I think if you just like in general, just vending the show for the first time, make sure you've got a banner, a nice banner that shows your logos. Really take an effort to do that. You can get them, at different places. We favor the people that we got our banner from, which is Zulu Marketing, a great company. Your tablecloths. Some venues might have where they bring in their little tablecloths, but we always make sure that we have both 6-foot and 8-foot tablecloths. And just always bring your smile and your willingness to talk to people. Do not, and I cannot stand this, but do not sit behind your booth and continue to just be in your phone or just not even looking at your customers, not
or if you're carrying that negative energy, it passes on to the customers too.
They don't want to deal with you. They're not going to buy something from you if they don't feel like they're important. And that's the thing. Each customer that comes to the table, even if you've said the same thing over and over and over again, is just as important. The last one's just as important as the first one.
And if you've vended these shows, you know this to be true. Make sure that before you leave your home on that Thursday or Friday to head to that show, that you make it up in your mind that you're about to go here, you're about to network, you're going to have fun, you're going to enjoy your entire weekend, and you ain't going to make no money. Put it in your head. Because when you do make money, it's a success.
It's a bonus.
But what we found, and you know this to be true, people come, they're super excited, they vend the show, and Sunday they're pissed off. They're pissed off. They're mad. They're angry. Guess what? Customers see that. They still there. They're still there seeing that. And that's a horrible experience.
Yeah, because I've had some people come up to me at the show and say, well, you know who that person is over there? And I'm like, well, I'm not sure, and they won't even like acknowledge me. They're sitting in a chair. They're not even going to want to talk to me if I purchase a snake. And I was like, yeah, I agree. it's just communication with that person and just talking to them and stuff like that. We have a question from Kristen at Dark Desire Pythons. What's your most anticipated pair for the season so far?
That's difficult.
Oh,
Can we get into the secret sauce?
Oh man, so
we get a dip?
we have several though. We don't have one that's our most anticipated.
I'm always a big fan of our Aussie boy. That one's always.
That's a home run project.
Yeah.
That is one. So we have our Super Orange Dream, Super Inchy, Leopard, Hypopod, Het Ultramel, male is bred to. We have 2 Ultramel pod females. One's an Inchy Ultramel pod and one's an Ultramel pod. So those are huge. Huge. Then we also have that same male, Super Inchy, Super Orange Dream, Leopard, Hypopod, had Ultramel bred to a spot nose, pastel, red head, had Hypo female. I can kind of keep rambling on. We probably have 20 crazy parents.
Yep.
We're working on trying to see what's going on with the Super Stranger. We have a couple of those parents going on with a lesser stranger female to our Stranger Pod, Het Clown Boy. And then we have our Leopard Stranger Girl that's been bred to our Fire Stranger Male. So those are 2 working on some Super Stranger combinations. She has her Pinstripe Sunset female, Visual Sunset female that was bred to make some Sunset hets to our Fire Stranger Boy. And then we also have some untapped stuff like LC Black Magic, Het Dreamsicle that's been bred to a bunch of combination crazy pod combos.
Look, I just love
KG, I believe.
We got a message from the boss there, Mike.
Austin.
You making the blind guy read the comments. Audra carrying on her tradition of being the best looking one on the show and a sea of hideous bastards.
That's right.
I read that in his voice.
Did you?
I did.
Dude, I read it in his voice too.
Oh gosh, that's so funny.
Shawn,
that's Chris.
I
Okay.
think it reads the comment to him before I can even see it.
No, I have my AirPod in my right ear,
Oh,
and then I have my phone to the right of me, and I have it turned down. So I use the voiceover on my phone to read it in my ear as you guys are speaking and talking.
Interesting.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Us as blind people, we can figure out how to get in the community and communicate and stuff like that too. I don't let it stop me being disabled. I want to show people that I can get out and do it. Because I've been told for years numerous things, whether be working at some places or different. Hey, you can't do it because you can't see. I'm gonna get out there and show them that I can do it. And this is my second successful year of breeding ball pythons.
Nice.
And I just recently picked up a Orange Dream Sunset male about 2 weeks ago. So I'm gonna put him to my Het Sunset girl next year. She laid she's getting ready to lay a clutch on July 3rd. She got that pre-link shed in. So
congrats.
Thank you. I'm excited. Then I got Shawn, the big homie.
Man. I remember my first couple of seasons, man. It was just freaking super exciting. It still is.
Yeah, for sure. Last year, let's go back. 2 years ago, I had got a Inchy yellow belly girl, and I traded it for her rack I had gotten. And I was like, well, I'm just going to pair a pod to her and see what happens. I was like, and then I cut the eggs and 2 pods popped out. I was like, oh, that's awesome. So that made it even better. And that was my first.
That actually happened to me last year too, Mike. I had a GHI Fire girl, and I put a hypo boy to her, and ended up getting some hypos out of it.
Yeah, very nice. I guess that's exciting.
It's always nice when you get that little bonus gene popping up out of nowhere.
Yep.
You guys ever have bonus genes pop up out of nowhere? You're like, what is it? What? Wait, I didn't even know.
We're working on a couple of different things.
Yeah,
I think those are like probably 4 of the lesser kind of known or lesser worked with genes. probably are some of my favorites. The chainsaw that is our like little
I was
weirdos.
just going to ask you about chainsaw.
Yeah.
The toxic gene.
Yeah.
And then tragic.
Yeah.
And then I like, and I really and truthfully, it's one of those genes that, like, I don't know, hardly anyone has, is the neon. That neon.
Yeah.
How it's going to interact with different people or different other snakes and genes.
Yeah, for sure. Go ahead, Shawn. I just had one quick question.
Go ahead.
They have me so excited about the sunset and stuff like that. Do you work? Are you possibly working with Scrambler? Think about Scrambler with the sunset.
We had a we had a male. We got into that project. We raised them up, and then we said, you know what, we're gonna punt and go a different direction. So we're looking. Okay. We may get back into it. We acquired our male before Marcus Jane released this huge release to the States of killer combinations. We were too late to jump on that list that were coming in, but we'll get into it probably another year or so.
Okay.
Nice. You guys ain't got any questions in the comments there for these guys, man? This freaking knowledge over here. I got more questions.
More retarded than you and I. Read. In fact, this is comment. He's hilarious.
He is.
Oh my goodness.
He is. He's.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Hey, Chris. It didn't take me 20 minutes to read that question either. Like it takes me 20 minutes to type it.
It's legit one of my favorite people in the whole community.
Yep, for sure.
Hey,
do y'all breed rats as well or purchase them?
We purchase most.
We do both.
Breeds for our hatchlings. Yes. So we're lucky enough that she enjoys that portion of it. So we produce all of our litters for our hatchlings that we hatch out, but we buy rodents every week.
They're my little babies. They're my little babies.
Very expensive. We budget right around $15,000 a year for our rodents.
Is there something I'm missing, Shawn? Married from Little House.
It's Chris. Good times, man.
Definitely.
So
he's a mess.
How can people get a hold of y'all if they want to find you guys? Because you have the Flawless Crested Geckos, the Flawless Creations, the ball pythons, yeah.
Flawless Exotic Creations.
Flawless Exotic Creations. We're on pretty much every platform there is. We have our Instagrams. Instagram is a really, really quick way and pretty easy way to get in touch with us. Whether it be Flawless Exotic Creations or Flawless Crested Geckos, you can just hit us up in the inbox there. We are on Facebook as well. That one's not quite as, I don't know, for some reason, Facebook doesn't like to notify you until it's been like, I don't know, 12 hours later or something like that. It's crazy. But Instagram, probably first and foremost. We're also on TikTok. I do our TikTok. He doesn't do TikTok at all. He's not a TikToker.
I'm not a TikTok guy either.
Yeah, but I'll pop on there, and it's just Flawless Ink on there on TikTok, and you'll see, and if you pop to our profile, say Will and Audra. It is a picture of us. And then we, of course, have our YouTube channels for both of our businesses, Flawless Exotic Creations, which is our ball pythons, and Flawless Crested Gecko. So you feel free to just hit us up in those comments. If you are a Flawless Crested Gecko person, then we also have flawlesscrestedgeckos.com. Yes, right there. That is our merch right there. He's repping for us. And you can scroll all the way down to the bottom of the page on the homepage, and there's a contact us form, so you can email us using that.
So we still use a direct, .com. We're actually going to have a direct.com on Flawless Exotic Creations as well. But again, building that right after the same business plan. So we still believe in the .coms.
Yes. Your own little space on the World Wide Web.
Yep.
So do you guys use Morph Market at all, or do you use your okay?
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
guys
you
use
can
any
focus
other
on more
platform for selling, or?
No, that's pretty much it. Morph Market, YouTube. We sell a ton on YouTube.
Yeah.
Actually, we have a ton. And this actually came by surprise for us when we got into this kind of network of putting out videos, whether it be informational or educational videos here on YouTube. We started with a series that's called What's in the Box. Now we're on season 3, obviously. It's our 3rd year, and we kind of roll out and show out what's in the box, what we're hatching out, every clutch that hatches out. And a lot of the time, again, we do our pairings that we breed. Every single one of them, we're looking for specific holdbacks. And a lot of the time, as people know, if you've been breeding ball pythons and you're kind of strict with some of your pairings, you're going to miss 90+% of the time on your holdbacks. Therefore, you have things that becomes available for sale. So in these videos, we put out, hey, we hit our holdback, we hit our goal. This is a holdback animal.
And then we have X, Y, and Z.
This is available. This is a male. This is a female. And people started hitting us up and actually making purchases, which was kind of cool before we hit Morph Market.
Yeah.
Rat Bastard Royals wants to know, where can I get one of those awesome flawless jerseys?
The jerseys are actually exclusive to Patreon members at the moment. And they're also exclusive to, we actually have a flawless membership here on YouTube for Flawless Exotic Creations. So they're actually exclusive to them as well. So they'll have access to being able to
get you all some flawless drip.
Yep.
Yeah, for sure.
Yes. Yep. And Kristen, yes. So I breed the rats, but I have a hard time with that as well. So I
Same here.
He comes, he's like, I need this many X, Y, and Z, and I get them out, and then he takes the babies and goes and does the stuff. But I mean, if I have to do it, I'll do it. But I don't like hearing it either. The attachment is very real.
Yeah.
See.
Are you guys going to be going to Daytona?
Yes, we'll be at Daytona every year.
I believe we will be. We're in room 2 still again this year, but it's booth 603 and 604, I believe. So as you come into room 2, literally, we're going to be right there on the side.
Nice. What's your guys' favorite show to do throughout the year?
Oh man, I don't know. It's kind of like all of them for me.
They all have their pros and cons. Chicago is great. Tinley is great, but it's just 13-14 hour drive for us. Daytona,
it's been fun lately.
It has. We do pretty good. Yeah. But then Daytona is always fun because it's like a 7-hour drive for us. So it's like literally we're just zooming down the highway, and we don't trailer when we go to Daytona.
Cruising down the 95.
Yeah, and then I don't know. It's just it's a cool show. It's more relaxed in the setup. Like when we get there, we go in, we set up, we're good for the next 3 days. It's just relaxing.
I've got to agree with this comment right here. Chris says, you guys should slap the shit out of Wayne. You should be in the main room.
Yeah. Oh, man. He is very difficult.
Hey, he might be putting y'all in the front now. Y'all might be going to 106 and 107.
Yeah. I deal with Mr. Wayne. He is. Yeah.
Yep. That's exactly why I say, babe, you got to deal with him. I'm not dealing with him.
And you have the beach there too on Daytona, and you can relax on the beach in the summer, and so
we don't do sand. We don't do sand. We like to watch it.
I don't do sand. I don't do the beach. I don't do the sun. I'm like, it's a beautiful day. Why are you sitting in the shade?
I used to go to the beach all the time until I joined the Army, and then I went to Iraq, and I don't think I've set foot on beach sand since then. Yeah, I'm right there with you, Will. I don't do the beaches.
Awesome.
Nice. Chris, you're going to be in Daytona. Well, make sure you wheel your way over to the booth.
Sorry, Chris is killing me. Comments are coming in before you.
Mike's driving.
I'll put you on my lap, Chris, and I'll push the pedals, and you can drive.
Oh, That's funny.
Y'all are
I
terrible.
don't know. He might enjoy that too much.
He gets me on his show, and it's payback time. I'll be on there tomorrow night watching him. So look out tomorrow night at 9:00 on the Fat Man channel.
Definitely.
Yeah.
You're gonna
We
see a lot.
appreciate y'all coming on.
Absolutely, and we're candidates on the 15 minutes of lane.
Yeah.
We're gonna start off.
Yeah.
We'll start out.
We are already talking
Oh
about
yeah,
it.
definitely. I know
Sure.
he hates when they start early, but we're gonna start early.
We're gonna start
We're gonna bring the
early.
heat. Yes, we're gonna bring the heat.
I'm giving free will.
Hey, I'll just put it out there now. I'm voting for you guys. Mike, you're voting for them too. Damn it.
There we go. There we go.
Hey,
Yeah, we'll get on there and vote for you guys.
That's right. Appreciate it. Appreciate
I love it. I figured he'd say give free wheelchair ride to Will.
oh, Chris, man,
Oh,
love that New York. That New
Oh,
York
yeah.
style, right? Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So, where are you from? New York? Will?
I'm from Jersey. I'm
Oh,
from North New Jersey. So it's very close, but it's a different world.
yeah.
Georgia guy, huh?
Mm-hmm. Definitely. He went to Jersey Shore. He said Jersey.
Yeah.
Not that Jersey. Not that Jersey, but
No.
Not that Jersey.
This Jersey, we ride through and he blocks me down. He's like, do not get out of the car. I'm like, oh God. Okay.
Do not get out of the car. You're officially in the hood.
Back in 2002, we did went to New York for the last day of the cleanup of the Twin Towers.
Mhm.
And my aunt at the time, we went into like the Bronx, and it was just as getting dark. My uncle's like, "Don't stop." She goes, "Well, there's like 8 people in front of me." He goes, "Go around them or go through them." We're in the middle of the Bronx, and we went into Harlem. She got lost, and oh man,
Wow.
it's like, don't stop.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
That's awesome, man. Hey, I really appreciate y'all coming on with me tonight and me and Mike and having a really great show. And hopefully we drop some knowledge on young breeders out there, maybe old breeders, maybe they, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Maybe
absolutely.
we helped somebody tonight and y'all were a big part of it. And I'm truly grateful for it. And you guys are welcome on the show anytime you want, man. Anytime.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. We appreciate it. Make sure you go hit the likes and share it.
Yeah, don't be a punk. Hit the like button.
Chris is hilarious. But yeah, definitely.
Oh, Chris.
I went up there and ran them all out.
Oh man, yeah. Feel free, message us, inbox us, Instagram. We love to talk snakes. We love to talk business. We love to talk just the hobby in general.
Just talk.
Yeah, absolutely.
All white under hits are, yeah, for real.
Oh gosh.
Yes.
Man. Appreciate you guys.
Well, thank you so much. We're gonna throw you guys backstage and we're gonna sign out here. And I appreciate y'all so very much, man. It was a great show. Mike, you're an amazing co-host, dude. Thanks for getting back in your seat. And
appreciate it. Thank you.
Appreciate y'all very much.
Thank you.
Definitely.
Well, that's the show for y'all tonight. On the big homie, that's Big Mike. You just got broke down all the way on communication and networking in the reptile game. I hope y'all learned something tonight and go home with some knowledge and maybe use that knowledge to further your position in the industry. I'm Shawn. That's Big Mike. And we're out.